You're going to get through this.
Easy for listening. I was able to do it.
I'm not a great lover of cats.
That's my fear.
You're a disgrace, you are.
Not me. That's my fear.
You're a disgrace, you are.
Hello and welcome back to Have Your Say, one-on-one shadowboxing. Today our guest is David Archibald and we're talking about the very fact of life with and without cancer. So I heard some of the stories of yours which are extraordinary, very simple and almost unbelievable. We believe it only because it's true. So tell me about the black cells.
Well, it's a mixture of an American Indian remedy called bloodroot from a plant from North America, mixed with some zinc chloride and a couple of other factors. It hasn't been through clinical trials. People have made up their own from a formula if they get the ingredients. It has been banned in Australia by the Therapeutic Goods Administration, the TGA. Now, in terms of my experience with it, I found a company in Brisbane that sold black salve and would deliver it anywhere in Australia. So I provided my credit card details and a bottle of it got sent up to Derby. And my friend Nigel up there went to the post office, picked it up. He lived on a property out in a couple of 100 kilometres inland. And he put it on his head because he had misspent youth of prawn trawling and surfing and so on. And the doctors in Derby-based hospital wanted to cut his right ear off because it was just covered in cancers and so on. His boss, Froggy, told me a few weeks later that this stuff was clearing up Nigel's head, and it was sort of painful at the time, itching and scratching and so on, but he was clearing up all the cancers, but he wasn't able to get right down in the ear. So I got a plastic surgeon friend of mine under the public health system here in WA.
Yep.
Nigel got flown down from Derby, got fixed up in public hospital here and sent back, but he's still got his right ear as a result of being told at dinner that black salve worked, being able to find a bottle on the net, getting it posted to him. Now, unfortunately, black salve has been banned in Australia. The people who used to sell it, after the initial ban by the TGA, rebadged it as termite repellent. And for a while, you could buy it as termite repellent, but the TGA got wise to that too. It's actually a lot of Australians go to Bali and Phuket, get it over there and apply it over there.
I got some childhood, memories of vitamin C because I lived in a building opposite with the clinics, which is in Sagad in my hometown when I'm born. And I always, when I get up in the mornings, I view through the window and see a window, which they said, you know who lived there before? I said, no, I don't know, I have no idea. And my parents told me, the person who find vitamin C in capsicums, and he got the Nobel Prize for it. He's the only person who got Nobel Prize for finding vitamin C. So that's and I asked what vitamin C is, what is it good for? So why a person, spend the time just a few, meters away from my house to find vitamin C? And they said, what's in paprika or capsicum.
Capsaicin.
Yes, and also in, lemon and so on and so forth. So, and it's very important for you, for your life, because if you're not eating enough, you're gonna get scabs. So you're losing your teeth and you're gonna die after all. So, but why is that important in regard to cancer?
Vitamin C is important in a number of factors in health, but also be aware there are a whole lot of cofactors. And the trouble with eating vitamin C alone is that you put things out of kilter in terms of the ratio of different things you get. You're better off relying upon getting it in your diet as well. But also you may have the vitamin C, but you should have a wide variety of vegetables at the same time because of those cofactors.
Hopefully raw veggies, or closest to be raw.
Yeah, but we're not talking about the root vegetables and all that sort of stuff.
What sort of veggies are we talking about?
Red capsaicin. Red capsaicin's got 10 times as much vitamin C as green capsicum. Broccoli is probably the most important one. Has a lot of vitamin C in it because of sulforaphane. But the sprouts have 50 times as much sulforaphane in it as the mature head. A lot of people are told they should eat broccoli for the anti-cancer effect, but you might as well give up on the heads, which you see in the supermarket, and go straight to the sprouts if you want to save time in your chewing. 50 times as much, because the sulforaphane is actually in the seed. The 5-day-old sprouts are the best in most things for the total vitamin C content and anti-cancer effect. On the subject of broccoli sprouts, when I got involved, there was only one supplier in the world that would actually tell you what the sulforaphane content of their supply was. Everybody else just guessed. And that was Futureceuticals in Memphis, Illinois.
Yes.
And I emailed them, and they said, Mr. Archibald, we'd love to talk to you when you get here. So I had to fly to Illinois to get a supply. But they gave me a very high-grade particular batch, which was 2% sulforaphane, 80 kilos of it. I had to buy the whole lot. And therefore, I bought 5 fridges to keep the stuff in at home thereafter. I'm still going through that, the last of that. But there is now a higher grade source. There's a company called Cordial Seeds. Because of the importance that sulforaphane has, if you go on PubMed.com, which is the main US government portal for health research, and type in sulforaphane, there are hundreds of papers a year now on the effect of sulforaphane on cancer. Anyway, so commercially operators have looked into seeing what they can do in it. So Cordial Seeds was a seed company, said, we're in broccoli seeds, let's make the extract. So they grow high grade for the sulforaphane content seeds in the US, send them over to Germany for supercritical CO2 extraction of the sulforaphane, precursor glucoraphanin, and they bag it up and sell it at $400 US a kilo. So for $2,000 US, you can get 5 kilos of this stuff, which is the highest grade source of sulforaphane on the planet that I'm aware of.
And how much you need? If you spend $2,000, how many days you can have the supply for that from?
Let's say 3 or 4 years, depending on how much you want to dose yourself up with. But it's depending if you've got cancer or not. If you had cancer, I'd say we'll go and buy one of these. It's the same as buying a fridge for $2,000.
And what sort of thing is that? It's a powder?
It's a powder. It's 10% glucoraphanin,
10%.
up from 1% in the seed content. Before I forget, and your viewers should be aware of this if they're interested, is that the people I met back in Purdue University, Indiana, about 15 years ago, went on to commercialise their cancer test, which they now call OncoBlot. And for $1,700 US, they'll test for 25 different cancers and give you a result. They won't tell you how big the thing is, but this test, which is a 2-dimensional electrophoresis test, can detect cancers 4 or 5 years before it's clinically diagnosable or there's any other sign in the body. Because this T-NOx molecule that's on the external membrane of cancer cells gets shed into the bloodstream. And initially they thought, well, if we can find T-NOx in your blood, that means you've got cancer somewhere in your body. But it's gone beyond that. They can say which one of 25 different organs has that cancer.
So it works with blood to test.
Yep.
And you have to do the 25 different tests, or one test tells you which one you got, even if you got 2 or 3.
Yes, exactly, yes. But there's another part of it. Those same people have also got their own particular cure for cancer, which they call capsibile tea.
Capsibile tea.
And it's simply a mixture of green tea extract and 1 chili pepper powder, yellow chili pepper. Capsaicin is probably a very effective molecule, and it's a small molecule and get through your membranes of your cells faster. It's well known to have an anti-cancer effect. People who scrape it on their skin get rid of skin problems. The other component, green tea, people in Japan drinking more than 8 to 10 cups of green tea a day have much lower cancer rates than other Japanese, 40% lower. It's a combination of those two things, binding on the T-NOx molecule, suppressing the production of anti-apoptotic proteins.
So lots of things coming from paprika, known capsicums or...
Yes.
That's amazing. David, thank you very much for your visit again. And for you, next week, same time, same channel. Have your say.
through this.
Easy for listening. I wasn't able to do it.
Easy for dancing. I'm not a great lover of cats.
That's my fear.
You're a disgrace, you are.
Not me. That's my fear.
You're a disgrace, you are.